Amboseli National Park in Kenya is simply one of my favorite places on earth. Because of two reasons. One, it's probably the best place on earth to photograph the African elephant. And two, because the habitat there is exquisite for photography particularly. It's composed of volcanic soil, marshes and grassland. The most dreamlike combination of habitats possible to photograph such a large and charismatic mammal as the African elephant. But there is yet a bonus, a sort of X factor, a sort of cherry on the cake that Amboseli offers, and that is the view of the snow-capped highest mountain in Africa, that's the Kilimanjaro. Just the name itself brings goosebumps on the skin. It's such an amazing, iconic mountain, and one of the greatest gifts of nature is the ability to see an African elephant or two against the backdrop of this incredible mountain. But if it's a cloudy day and the mountain is not visible, you just are not in luck and you can't see it. So this is exactly the train of thought that I had running in my mind during my first ever visit to Kenya, of which Amboseli was of course a very important part. But unfortunately, because of paucity of time and funds, I had only 3 days there, 2 nights and 3 days, and half of which are of course spent traveling, which is effectively just 2 days at the end. And so I had to get very, very lucky to be able to see the Kilimanjaro during one of the days, particularly also because this was the wet season. The first 2 safaris were incredibly exciting and fruitful. I saw an amazing number of elephants, managed to get some very satisfying pictures. But of course the thought of photographing elephants against the Kilimanjaro was still gnawing away at my mind, and I finally got lucky on the second morning when the clouds parted, the sun came out, the sky cleared up, and lo and behold, the Kilimanjaro came into view with this incredible foreground of the 2 elephants grazing, complementing each other in terms of composition and allowing me to take this, what is to me a very special picture which I would always remember. I shot this with the Nikon D800, which was my favorite camera at that time. It has of course since been succeeded by the D810 and then the D850. That also means that I can print this massively because of the extremely high resolution of the picture of 36 megapixels, which is another reason this is one of my favorite pictures. I like the blue of the sky. Obviously I had to apply a graduated neutral density filter in processing to get this. And the lens I used for this was the 70-200 mm VR, Nikon AFS VR, which is an extremely versatile lens. Needless to say, it's very popular and for good reason, particularly with professionals. It's built beautifully, it is light enough to carry around and built well enough to be abused, and it's most importantly fast enough to use even in low light and get beautiful blurry backgrounds despite the relatively short focal length of the maximum of 200 mm. Okay, so that's about this picture. If you have any questions, please shoot them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. And until the next picture and next story, thank you very much for watching and goodbye.